Hello, my name is Kevin O'Neill, founder and CEO of Cyber Research. Our mission is to provide people the capabilities to protect and control their personal information wherever it exists, and according to their terms and conditions, derive value and/or benefit from the trustworthy use of their information assets. We call this human digital liberty. To help understand the importance of human digital liberty and people taking control of their personal information, I'm going to provide an historical perspective, a comparison. Then, during the transatlantic slave trade, the Black Holocaust, millions of Black Africans were declared subhuman. The argument was they were Black. They were denied human dignity, denied human liberty. They were violently captured, chained, branded, sold into unending servitude. This industry generated vast wealth for slave traders and owners who secured immense political power to maintain slavery for generations. Today, we have the data slave trade, human digital trafficking. Millions of people today, like the Black African woman or the transatlantic slave trade, are dehumanized, declared property, subjugated for life. We now exist as ethereal, dark digital matter, captured and chained, controlled in a vast network of machines. Denied human digital dignity, denied human digital liberty. Our human digital person, captured, always on surveillance, chained, subjugated, controlled, branded, declared property. Our digital person put to work, generating billions for search, advertising, social network, and other firms. Our digital profiles amassed and shared across a sea of players who expose us to harm. Like the transatlantic slave trade, our present data slave trade is prosperous and powerful. Crony big business and corrupt big government have collaborated to systematically undermine and weaken our rights to privacy, security, and liberty. Presently, there is no end in sight to data breaches, cybercrime, and cyber attacks by criminals and our enemies. Data records lost or stolen since 2013 globally, 9.7 billion. Records breached in the year 2017 globally, 2.6 billion. North America accounted for 86% of worldwide breaches. With the advent of cyberspace as an operational domain of war, criminals and our enemies have skillfully exploited our present weak, vulnerable, easy prey state of being digital. All of us are being surveilled online, profiles being built and shared across a sea of players who expose us to harm. Special Operations Forces and their families have and continue to be hunted online. They are priority targets for our enemies. Presently, civilians and warriors have little, if any, control over their human digital existence, their digital identity, and information assets. It is essential to understand that the unending and escalating cybersecurity catastrophe we are experiencing is entirely man-made. Core to our man-made cybersecurity catastrophe is the fact that primitive data types, data objects, were never designed to be secure, to be self-protecting, self-governing. Common primitive data types include integers, booleans, characters, floating point numbers, and alphanumeric strings. Primitive data types, data objects, and file formats such as JSON, XML files, these basic atomic building blocks of information systems, cannot protect or govern themselves. This is by design. In other words, the data object is the most fundamental flaw in our critical information technology fabric. As a result, our information is weak, vulnerable, easy prey. This is a fundamental flaw and continues to put us all at risk, and in particular, Special Operations Forces, warriors, and their families, who are being hunted by our adversaries. Our data, our personal information, is weak, vulnerable, easy prey. This is by design. Our industry is stuck in and perpetuates a primitive, dumb data paradigm. We are blinded and constrained by this idea of protecting an object that was never designed to protect itself, that was never designed to govern itself. Perpetuating primitive, dumb data is essential to the status quo and a business model and strategy of maximum control and exploitation of personal information by crony big business and corrupt big government. Encrypting primitive data is not enough, as the explosion in ransomware has demonstrated, encryption being used against us. If you encrypt a data file, share that encrypted file and later provide the recipient the decryption key, do you have any control over the decrypted file? The answer is no, you have zero control. The recipient can do whatever they want, operations, read, update, send, with the decrypted data. We need to go beyond encryption, as its purpose is to hide, distort the meaning or scramble data, not control the operations performed on the data. The war over who owns and controls personal information has been raging for years, and we the people are the losers in a corrupt and powerful data slave trade and anti-liberty police state. Ralph Nader confronted the auto industry in 1965, unsafe at any speed, the design-in dangers of the American automobile. For approximately 85 years, automobile safety belts were not standard equipment. Nader claimed that American automobiles were generally unsafe to operate. Unsafe at any speed became an immediate bestseller, but also prompted a vicious backlash from General Motors, who attempted to discredit Nader. In 1966, Congress passed the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act, seatbelts being required on all new American vehicles from 1968 onward. Our data has no safety belts, no capability to self-protect, to self-govern, and certainly no capability for you and me to directly control our personal information anywhere, anytime. Examples of direct control would be lock, unlock, erase forever, derive value and or benefit as we determine. This is by design. Designed in danger of data repurposing. Data is collected and used for one purpose and later used for a completely different purpose. Einsatzgruppen, Nazi death squads, can be traced back to the ad hoc Einsatzkommando formed by Reinhard Heydrich to secure government buildings and documents in 1938. The task of securing government buildings with their accompanying documentation and the question of civil servants in lands occupied by Germany was the Einsatzgruppen's original mission. The Nazis prepared a detailed list identifying more than 61,000 Polish targets, mostly civilians, by name. In 2013, the United States Internal Revenue Service revealed that it had selected political groups applying for tax-exempt status for intensive scrutiny based on their names or political themes. May 2010, the IRS began developing a spreadsheet that became known as the Be on the Lookout list. You and I have little, if any, direct control over the repurposing of the vast and growing amount of data collected, electronic records, about us. This is by design. Security rule number 1, trust no one. Especially, do not trust any individual or organization that does not respect and protect a human's right to control their personal information wherever it exists. Data can be used for us, good, and against us, evil. Today, our data is weak, vulnerable, easy prey. This is by design. Human right of privacy, informational self-determination, is not an absolute right. Our right to control our personal information is essential to liberty and security, but it is not an absolute right. Namely, it is not true in all situations. 2 examples. Criminal record. When someone is convicted of a crime in the United States courtroom, it is a public event. The record of the conviction is a public record, and anyone can go to the court clerk's office and search the files for records of conviction for a certain person. Exception: judge-sealed, expunged conviction. Reputation management. In a reputation management system, we may agree to have a community evaluate our performance, our products or services. That evaluation report will be made available to others for the benefit of an informed decision, taking into account the opinions or findings rendered by customers, peers, or credentialed experts. Such reputation reports might be appealed if proven false. Why fight those who believe and behave like the Nazis, the transatlantic slave traders, and tyrants who sought to enslave, subjugate, and annihilate people they asserted were subhuman, not worthy of life and liberty? I believe there are millions of people today who now realize just how precarious our digital existence is, how vulnerable we all are in this rigged for enslavement, rigged for tyranny world called cyberspace, and are motivated to act. Like those who fought evil in the past, they will fight to secure human digital liberty for themselves and others they love and cherish. Take control of your personal information. Disrupt the data slave trade and the anti-liberty police state. Within CIVA's Human Digital Liberty Architecture is a Personal Information Agent Service. The PIA is based on CIVA's patented Self-Determining Digital Persona, or SDDP technology, which is a combination of hardware and software. The PIA is a user-controlled, user-prospered, self-protecting, self-governing form of human digital identity, person or being. These are some of the PIA's control capabilities: lock at will, unlock, and erase forever. User prospered, information licensed for value or benefit. Never sell your personal information. License it and continuously control it wherever it exists. A person's policies, their rules, travel with their personal information agent, always on, always enforcing. One of CIVA's architecture guiding principles is human digital integrity. Never separate a person's data from their governing policy, their privacy and security choices, and their capability to enforce those choices. Consider privacy and security are essential to liberty. Also consider the only rights you have are those you fight for. Do you believe you have a right to protect and control your personal information wherever it exists? Are you willing to fight for your liberty and for the liberty of others? It's your decision, warrior I am.